review so we can remember what they are, okay, before we do the activity. So, a noun. Raise your hand if you can tell me what a noun is. Riley?
Okay, so noun.
What words are usually nouns?
A person.
Okay, person. What else? Jaden? Place. Kobe? Thing. Very good. And there's one more. You don't really need to know it for this activity. Sienna? Reckon. An idea. Yeah. We won't be doing an idea today, but that is one thing to know, that if you're doing a noun. Okay. Yes.
She just got back. She just got back.
But you have to listen, okay? While you're eating. Okay, so most of you knew kind of what a noun is, person, place, thing, or idea. That's probably the one that you've all been studying the longest. You learned noun before I even came here. Okay? So the next thing is I'm doing adjective next because an adjective what? Describes a noun. So what are some describes a noun? Who can give me some examples of an adjective? Eliza. Colors. Good. Morgan. Shape. Size. Good. What about, aren't there, can't numbers describe it? If you're saying how many numbers of something? Yes? Abigail?
How wide?
Okay, that's size and shape goes under that. So I want you to know though that numbers, if
What about weight?
numbers. For instance, if you said 9 animals were at the zoo, how many animals were at the zoo?
9.
Okay, so it was describing animals, right? That's all this. So I'm giving you examples based off of what's going to be on the list of the activity we're doing today. So you might have 9. You're probably going to have some colors describing some color words. You're going to have numbers. You're going to have texture, which is how it feels. What's the other word we've learned recently? Adverb. Okay, an adverb describes what? Yes, it describes a verb. Who can give me an example of an adverb? Eliza?
That boy ran quickly.
Okay, so which word was the adverb?
The adverb was quickly.
Yes, quickly. So it's telling how he ran. So quickly. What's another example of saying how, Abigail?
Nicely.
Nicely, good. Okay, so if I was to say when Miss McCormick went to the store now, that says when she went to the store now, okay? So you can say when, yesterday, now, today.
A year.
Okay? And then it also says where. So if I say that Olivia is sitting over there, where is she sitting? Over there. Okay? So you can do there, here. So no, that would be a noun. Here, there. Okay? Okay. I'm going to explain this to you. You have to listen very carefully. I've already put you in groups and everything. These are going to be on the ground. You have adverb. It's going to be turquoise.
Yep, I have.
You have adjective is going to be the lime green.
How and green go really good together.
Noun is a purple one.
Yeah.
And then there's a blue that is a verb. Okay? So what we're going to do is since there's a few people gone, we only have 5 groups. I'm going to lay these pieces of paper on the ground, and they're going to be spaced apart. I don't want you're going to be hopping on one foot to another, right foot, left foot, 2-foot hop. You're going to be walking backwards, but I don't want you to do it on the papers, okay? It'll be beside it. So if you have these, say you have them here, this is where you would do your activity, off to the side of it. But you would stop on each of these, okay? I have 2 lists of words. They're a mixture of adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and nouns. Okay, they're just like this, a list. And I have it already down here on who you're going to be in groups with, and it will say doer, reader, and checker. Okay, one person is going to be doing the activity, and one person is going to be reading the words, and the third person will be checking to make sure that that person is going to the right square. Okay, it'll be a little bit like hopscotch, but you're going to be going back and forth.
By color.
Yes, by what the word is that you read. For example, the first word here is soft. So you would start at the top, so you can have them all laid down. You'd start up here, and if your reader said soft, for an adjective, you hop with 2 feet. So you would hop with 2 feet till you get beside adjective. And then your reader would say creepily, which is a what? Adverb. Creepily. Any word on this list that ends in an ly is going to be an adverb. Okay? So then you would walk backwards to the square of adverb. Okay? We're going to do a couple practice rounds, but it's just to see how well you know these parts of speech, and it's just a fun way to learn it. Okay?
Boring way is not
On left foot, hop on your left foot. Just do your best. If you don't do the actions right, that's
these words done? School. Hop on right foot. Right foot.
Toby, she's the reader, you need to be checking. You're making sure Brandon's doing it right.
So hop with 2 feet. 2 feet? She's doing her best. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, man. Hop on right foot. Go backwards. Right foot? Yeah. Right foot. Okay, so do you know your right foot, your right foot is? Of course you know what her right foot is. Hop on left foot. Yeah. Now your turn. No, I can't. Ground. Hop with 2 feet. Hop with 2 feet for you. House. House. Hop on right foot.
An action is an adverb. That's news to me.
That was kick. Hey Morgan, hop on left foot. We'll try this chicken. Left. Left.
Chase, you need to participate. Okay, class.
Yes.
Instead of paying attention to whether you're supposed to hop on 1 foot, hop on 2 feet, all of that, just hop, however you want, from one to the other, okay? That'll help, because that takes a little of the confusion away. So just hop or move to whichever square is correct, okay? Switch to the third person. You're still on list 1. I want you to start at the top for every new person.
Is it something you do? So it's action. Where's action?
Lazily.
Ends in L-Y. There's your clue.
Blue is a color.
Yes.
Hop. Is she doing it right, Morgan?
Hop.
What is she? What was the word?
Now she's on run.
Run.
We're only on 5. Okay, so hey Eliza. Green. That's fun. Run. Eliza, I got you 20 on the second one. Bird. I got you.
Jaden, when you're running, are you doing something? So you're doing an action. Which word means action?
Look on the board. Or you can use your math.
So what do you think? Is it an action? Which word is an action?
Good job.
You see the word action on the board? What's it next to?
Cow.
There's your clue. There you go. Stay there. You gotta stay there till they come to the next word. Any word that ends in L-Y, that should be your clue. L-Y? Everybody's got to do their job. Okay, if you have not made your first switch, go ahead and make your first switch. You're going to start over at the top of the list. That's the second one.
You're first. White.
No, stay on list 1. Stay on list 1. Stay on list 1.
White. Yep. 2 feet. No.
Oh, you're already
Angrily. Adjective is top of 2 feet.
Hello. This third lesson was all about student engagement, and I wanted to do a lesson that kept the students not only academically engaged, but also moving around and engaged through movement. As you can see in the video, we were working on grammar and parts of speech, and it was just another way that I came up with that the kids could practice their parts of speech. In order to keep all students engaged at all times, I split them into groups of 3, and then they each had their own job every time we switched. So the students, if they were either doing the activity, they were the one moving from square to square, or they were the one reading the words, or they were the one checking. And a lot of times the reader was needed to give tips and or clues to the person who might be trying to figure it out, and then the checker, their job is to make sure that they're doing it right. For this first time, I put the answers on there just because some of them are not as proficient at knowing these parts of speech as others are. So that was a modification I chose to do, was to put the answer beside it so the checker would know whether they were doing it right or not. I made sure that I used differentiated instruction when I split these kids up. I always made sure that I had a high and a low and a medium student in each group, and that was done and intended to help those students who might need some support throughout this activity. I thought I did a good job of keeping the students actively engaged throughout, and there was maybe one group that got through their list really quickly and then they weren't sure what to do, but for the most part each group was able to get through the word list before or about the time that I had them switch. So no one was really standing around not learning. Most of the time they were engaged in the activity in some way. For me, I just moved around the classroom trying to pose questions for students to maybe answer, or if I notice someone's having trouble figuring it out, I might go over and give them a little support and help them think that through to find the answer. But for the most part, this was an active engagement of learning for all students all at the same time. One way to get all 18 kids learning and thinking all at the same time. One thing that I learned, I told them that I wanted them to, and even on the piece of paper, I had a specific thing to do. Like you're supposed to walk backwards to an adverb and hop to a verb. Examples like that. Well, what I realized was that was too much for them to remember. It was hard enough for them to figure out whether this was a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. So I made an announcement in the middle of the lesson that they could just hop, or they could walk backwards, or they could just choose one action to do from square to square, and that took a little bit of the confusion out. We actually have done this activity a few more times since the lesson, and they've gotten better and better each time. And I've not only seen an improvement with their grammar knowledge, but just working together and getting it was much smoother. We've done it 3 times now, so it was much smoother the last 2 times than it was in the first. So you'll see in the video that it's a little hard to tell what they're really doing, but I think the lesson went great, and all students were actively engaged and learning all at the same time. Thanks.